episode of Homework with Miss Thomas. I am Miss Thomas, and today we will be exploring Lesson 10 in Module 5. The objective is to use the area model and division to show the equivalence of two fractions. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so for this work, each rectangle represents 1. We're going to compose the shaded fraction into larger units, express the equivalent fractions in a number sentence using division. The first one has been done for us. So for this work, we're really doing the same work we did in Lesson 9, in that we are composing, which means to make equal groups, to make a larger group that is equal to the sum of those units inside of each group, and we're expressing that using division. So for this first one, we have 4 shaded out of 6. If you notice, the groups are composed into equal groups of 2. So we're dividing the numerator by 2 and the denominator by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 4/6 is equal to 2/3. For the second one, I want to look at this and think about what could I make equal groups of? So I could do equal groups of 1. I could do equal groups of 2. I'm going to choose 2 because that is the larger unit. Okay, so I'm going to do equal groups of 2. I'm circling 2. This is composing. I started with 4 out of 10. I've made groups of 2. So I'm dividing the numerator and the denominator by 2, which gives me 2/5. And if you notice here, there are 2 shaded out of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For B, I'm going to make equal groups of 3 here. And I could do 2, right? I could do, well, no, I could not do 2. I could not do equal groups of 2. Nope, couldn't do equal groups of 2. Yeah, let's do equal groups of 3. I think that's going to be the larger one. We started with 6 shaded out of 9. We made groups of 3, so I'm going to divide the numerator and the denominator by 3, which means that 6/9 is equal to not 3, but 2/3. All right, for this next one, I'm going to also make groups of 3. We started with 9 15ths. 6 15ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we made groups of 3. So I'm going to do 9 divided by 3, 15 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So 9/15 equals 3/5. For number 2, we're going to compose the shaded fraction into larger units and express using division. Okay, for this one, I'm going to make groups of 2. I started with 6/8. I am going to divide the numerator and the denominator, 6 and 8, divided by 2. Now I have 3 shaded out of 4. Okay, and for B, let's make groups of 4. So off the bat, I can see that now I have 3 shaded out of 4. Show that using division. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Out of 13, 14, 15, 16. 12 divided by 4. 16 divided by 4. That is 3/4. Now we're going to draw an area model that represents each number sentence. So for this first one, we're starting with 6/15. There's a lot of ways that you can make 6/15. You could do 1 row of 15. You could do 15 rows of 1. I'm going to do 3 rows of 5. Make sure you shade 6. Now for composing. They're making groups of 3. So let's make groups of 3. Now I have 2 groups circled out of 5 groups. So 6/15 is equal to 2/5. For 6/18, I'm going to do 3 rows of 6. And I'm shading 6. 2, 4, 6. I'm going to compose now, making groups of 3. Now I have 2 shaded out of 6. So 6/18 is equal to 2/6, which is not in its simplest form, because if you look at this again, let me erase all. I could also do groups of 6. See, 6, 6, and 6 to make an even larger fractional unit. So 6/18 does equal 2/6, but it also could be divided, numerator and denominator, by 6 to make 1/3. See, this is now 1 group shaded out of 3. So all of these fractions are equivalent. 6/18 is equivalent to 2/6 is equivalent to 1/3. And 1/3 would be in its simplest form. All right, for number 4, we're going to use division to rename each fraction given below. You can draw a model if it helps you. And you want to see if you can use the largest common factor. So can you put this in the largest possible unit? So let's do 6/12. I'm going to do a rectangle that I'm going to do I'm going to do 2 rows of 6. And then I'm going to shade 6. So I could do a lot of different things here. I could do groups of 3. I could do groups of 2. But that wouldn't be the largest possible way to do this. The largest possible unit would be to do groups of 6. See how that is the largest possible piece. So I'm going to divide 6 and 12 by 6 to find that 6/12 is equal to 1/2. For B, we have 4/12. I'm going to do 3 rows of 4. I'm shading 4 pieces. So I could do groups of 2. But I could make these even larger fractional units. I could do groups of 4. Here's the 4 that's shaded. Here's another 4. And here's the final 4. I think that is probably the largest fractional unit that I can do between these two, because 4 is the greatest common factor between these two. When I count by 4s, I say 4. When I count by 12s, I say 4. And that's the largest I can do. I couldn't do anything larger than 4, because 4 is, only 4, right? So I'm going to do 4/12. 4 divided by 4, 12 divided by 4, and I get 1/3. If I look here, I can even see this is the one piece that's shaded out of 1, 2, 3 pieces. For C, we're going to do 8/12. I'm going to do 3 rows of 4. And again, there's a lot of ways you could do 8/12. You could do 2 rows of 6. You could do 6 rows of 2. You could do 1 row of 12. You could do 12 rows of 1. So this isn't the only way you can make 12, but I'm going to do this way. I'm going to shade 8. So I could do groups of 2. But that wouldn't be the largest. I could do groups of 4. That's larger than 2. Could I do something larger than 4? I couldn't do groups of 5 and make equal groups. I couldn't do groups of 6, 7. Couldn't do groups of 8 and make equal groups. So this 4 is the largest one. So we have 8/12. We're going to do 8 divided by 4. We're going to do 12 divided by 4 to give us 2/3, which makes sense because this group is shaded and this is the second group of 4 that is shaded out of 3, 2/3. And for the final one, we're going to do 18. And for 18ths, you could do 9 rows of 2. You could do 2 rows of 9. I'm going to do What am I going to do? I'm going to do six rows of 3. And I'm going to shade 12. Okay, so for this, I can easily see the larger unit here. I could do 2, right? All of these are, you know, groups of 2. But I can make an even larger fractional unit than that. I could do 3, which makes that bigger than 2, right? But I could do an even bigger fractional unit than that. I could do 6. Groups of 6. Now, just from looking at this, I can see I have 2 shaded out of 3. So for 12/18, I'm going to divide the 12 and the 18 divided by 6, and I get 2/3. All right, that does it for the homework for lesson 10 in module 5. Thanks so much for watching. Till the next time, keep learning, and I will see you soon. Bye.